thank you guys for joining in with us here at Squatch In The Pit. I'm sitting here with Brent Deadly Smedley and Eric Barrios of Out of Darkness.
What up? What up?
So you guys are from Jacksonville, Florida. You guys are a newer metal act. Tell us what happened to cause Out of Darkness.
I had a pretty good break from the other things I was doing, and I wanted to take that time and make a band of my own that I had, control over business-wise, creative-wise, and whatnot. And I got together with an old buddy of mine, Rich Brown. He managed a band of mine back about 25 years ago, and I told him what I wanted to do. He found Eric online actually doing some videos, YouTube star that he is. And he said, I think this guy's really killer. Let me send you some stuff he did. And I was kind of like, yeah, right, whatever, I'm sure the guy's good and whatever. But then I heard it and I was like, this guy's killer. I think we can really do something with him. So Rich reached out to Eric and we got together shortly after that. We met at like a jam night in Orlando. Just got up and played some, Maiden, Priest, and some stuff like that. We seem to really hit it off and have a good chemistry, and it was kind of born from that.
Right on. Now, what were these videos that Eric had put out that really caught your attention and Rich's?
Well, he did a cover of a Celine Dion song, which is actually on our CD that we did. It's called I Surrender. And he sent me the tracks to that, and I was like, man, the guy's got some pipes, I think we could really do something with that. Showed me that, and he showed me a couple other off the wall, some more comedic stuff that he did.
Yeah. Like there was a Justin Timberlake one. It was pretty funny. I was making a lot of fun out of it, and did some other metal stuff, like typical like Metallica, Megadeth, that type of stuff, metal covers.
Right on. Now, what was your inspiration for taking these? Because I myself, I always love these like clashing genre kind of songs where, two things that you would never think could go together, but they blend so well. Like, what was the inspiration behind choosing those songs?
Well, there was I suppose at one moment I was kind of a little heartbroken, and I stumbled on this song, and I was like, damn, this is a killer song. We're talking about that one song, right? I Surrender, is that what we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I stumbled on this song and I said, oh my God, I love this. It's a beautiful tune. The lyrics were really meaningful. They spoke to me. And as I was hearing that song, I just remember hearing, that pattern. And next thing I knew, boom, we had a whole heavy metal version of it.
Right on. Now, I know when Brent had reached out to you, it was kind of like a surreal moment for you. Kind of go through that for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically, since Brent has a third arm called Rich, he reached out to Rich, and Rich just kind of told me, hey, I'm putting together this group. It's got, the drummer of Iced Earth. And I'm like, oh, come on, get real, man. Get out of here. Come on, scram, But he was persistent, and he told me, no, it's for real. This is no joke, And he kind of told me, some of the things he had done in the past and what was going to happen, what his plan was for this band, some of the people he wanted to get involved in the project. And I said, well, I guess I've got to go do this. So I dropped everything. I left my whole life behind, and I moved to Orlando to start, the process. And that's how I got in.
Excellent. Now, that was back in, 2019?
Yeah.
End of 2019?
Yep, December 2019.
And then I know you guys had just started to go into, putting some music down. And then, of course, COVID-19 happened. Kind of go through the steps of going into the studio and then all of a sudden just the impact that had on everything.
Well, we had just started doing the drum tracks. We went to a studio live in Oviedo, right near Orlando. went in there, and I think we had a couple of days we were doing the drum tracks. And as soon as we got done with the tracks, that's when things shut down. So it put a bit of a hold on it for a while, but I think Oviedo kind of opened up after that. I'm a little foggy on exactly what happened.
A few weeks that it was closed, and then we got back in there and finished it up. We finished the drum tracks, I think it was, and then the studio shut down like right after the drum tracks.
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't imagine just starting a project, and hardly even getting, we'll say the foot in the door and seeing things halt.
It was a devastating moment, for sure. But
now, it happens. You just got to keep rolling.
Yeah.
Right, and you guys obviously have been. You guys just put out your EP through Curtain Call Records. 7 tracks total. Which one of those tracks do you think really embodies Out of Darkness as a whole?
They're all kind of diverse. Probably Control.
Yeah. Yep. Control kind of shows all our different faces in one, more or less,
And why do you feel that Control has that, or what message or feel does it have that speaks for Out of Darkness?
It's got a little bit of everything, It's got the heavy guitars. It's got obviously the thundering drums, and it's got some variety in the vocal side. There's singing, there's screaming or growling or whatever you want to call it. So I think it pulls a lot of our different sounds together and wraps it all up into one, more or less. I mean, it's really hard to bottle up Out of Darkness into one song because we have so many different songs that all sound their own way. But that song does a great job of kind of showing what we're about, more or less.
It's got a cool intro, and it's got some dynamics as well. It's got some softer parts and, of course, some heavier stuff. It's got a killer guitar solo in it as well.
Right on. And then, to kind of touch on that also, with Eric being the vocalist and you being the drummer, you guys also added in Bronzel, Cody, and also Sean. How did these guys fit into the mold, and how did you guys find them?
They're not actually on the record, but they came in after the recording was done, or as it was being completed. Sean Johnson, I guess we'll start backwards. He was the last one to join. He's an old buddy of mine. This is actually our 3rd band together. We were in a band back many years ago called Tempest Rain. We did, 300 shows easy. We did an EP and a full-length album. And then we're in another band years after that called D5, Diminished Fifth. We did an EP as well. I've known Sean for, I'd say about 20 years. He's really talented. He's a great writer. He's a great singer as well. So he was good to have for the backing vocals and to round out the guitar team that we have. Eric, why don't you take it on Bronzel? Do you know a little bit more about that than me? Eric,
little froze there.
Yeah. Well, Bronzel was the first one to come in. Yeah, I can hear you now.
So he's a little muted right now.
Okay, well, I'll take it till we get Eric straightened out. They found Bronzel at a jam night, the same jam night that me and Eric had gone up and first met at. And he got up there and was jamming on some Iron Maiden, I think without really even knowing it. And Bronzel, he's a great player. He's the youngster in the band. He's got a great energy. He's just a really killer guy. So he was instantly, when they heard him, they're like, man, we need to grab this guy. And then Cody, we knew from his other band. He's in a progressive band, kind of like a gent band called Traversing Infinity. And I had seen them play before. And we knew that we needed somebody that could play some really ripping leads. So we had Bobby Coble from Death fame and Azrael. If anybody heard of Azrael, many years ago, speed metal band in Orlando. Bobby's an incredible player, and he laid down 3 guitar solos for us, and we knew we had to find somebody that could do that live. So Cody was the guy. He's a great asset.
Right on, right on. Now, I know you guys have a lot of expectations and a lot of plans for 2021, especially with having everything kind of pushed back on the back burner there.
Yep.
What is the biggest thing that you want to see, or the biggest thing to come out of 2021 for Out of Darkness?
Well, we're looking at the radio campaign right now that the record company is coordinating, pushing that. We're making a video in a couple weeks for the single Think Again, which is the last track on the record. So we're doing that. We already have a lyric video for Control. We've already played about a half a dozen shows, only in Florida, though. We've played in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. We're looking to spread things out. We've got shows confirmed in like West Virginia, Texas, Georgia, I think maybe South Carolina. We're looking to play anywhere and everywhere that we can. Just build our following, get our numbers up, sell some merch, sell some CDs, sell the digital versions, I guess, whatever we can do just to build the name up. We're looking to do that. And then we're looking to follow it with a full length, killer album to follow Seize the Day. So we're just looking to get our live stuff more together, to gel more as a band, get our chemistry down live and whatnot. Just, spread the word basically.
Excellent. Now, Seize the Day was just released here at the beginning of the month. And I know you guys have physical copies, of course. With today's world, there's streaming available everywhere. Where can everybody find? I know you also talked about merch. Where can everybody find the merch, the CDs?
Out of Darkness, outofdarkness.live. You can find us on Bandcamp. I think the streaming stuff is on Spotify. I believe it's on Apple Music. Eric knows a little bit more about that than me. Maybe when we get him back on here, we can, if he gets back on, we can have him answer that as well.
Yeah, he should be getting back in here shortly.
But the main site is outofdarkness.live. That should take you to everything.
Awesome. I know I myself, I've looked at that more than a handful of times. Looking forward, listening to the album a few different times there.
Awesome.
Now, I know you guys have a show upcoming in May at the 1904 Music Hall, which you guys played there the very end of February.
Yep.
What was it like getting back on, stage performing in front of, the live crowd after, being on that little bit of a break due to, that forced break, we'll say.
Right on. I mean, it was killer. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I love recording. The recording is what's forever. That's something tangible that people can hold in their hand, get familiar with the music. So when they come to the show, but the live show is really where it's at. The way that the industry has turned because of all the downloading and everything, that's where the money's really at. That's the steadfast part of the industry is playing live. I mean, that's always been my favorite part anyway, going out on tour and just playing night after night, giving it your all and getting the immediate reaction back from the crowd. I mean, it's killer to get back on stage. I mean, that's what you do it all for. The recording is a rather quick process compared to, doing the deal is what I call it, doing the tour to really promote the record and play as much as you can, as many places as you can. So, I mean, that's killer. But the 1904 show, that was actually our 6th show. We had played in Tampa a couple times, Orlando a couple times. We've done a couple of live streams as well. But no, it's awesome. That was probably our best show to date. It's my first hometown show with the band. But we're not actually all from Jacksonville. Only me and Sean are from Jacksonville. Ronzell lives around Deltona, I think. And Cody and Eric live more like in Orlando. More like in Orlando.
Gotcha.
We're relatively close, but
yeah, that's all within a few hour drive from each other.
Yeah, 2-3 hours. We're pretty close.
So that's definitely reasonable to allow you guys to all get together and do things together and do the upcoming video, practice, everything. Just I know speaking with some of these bands over quarantine, where some of them were in the U.S. and Canada, where they could not, even if they wanted to, they couldn't get together because of the border being closed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's tricky.
I can imagine.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying. I can imagine. Just how awesome it was to just be able to be together. Almost whenever you wanted to say.
Yeah, we get together on the weekends. Every other weekend, every couple weekends, the guys all come to my place. I've got a pretty neat headquarters here. I've got a nice band room, and we get together and practice, and they stay there. The Masked Wonder.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back, man.
Gotcha.
Oh man, that was so crazy! What a rush.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
All right.
But yeah, we get together and do that. We'll just jam like Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, and then everybody goes their separate ways. We just do some marathon practicing.
Now, is there anything when you guys get together that is just not music based that you guys love to do together, or even music based that you guys just really enjoy?
I mean, we jam around sometimes after practice. We might catch a little buzz and just jam on some tunes, some cover tunes and whatnot. I mean, that's about it. I mean, I've got a ping pong table here. We haven't really broken that in too much. And there's a lake here as well. Sometimes the guys go on the canoe. I've got 50 acres here. Sometimes we'll go around on the trails and whatnot. That's about it.
Now, with the two of you, there's definitely a, we'll say a generation gap. Good 10 years between you.
Yeah, 10 years or so.
Now, what do you feel, works so well that you're able to bring and that Eric's able to bring that it makes it to where there is no gap. How they always say age is a number. What's able to allow you to mesh so well?
Well, I think music is kind of timeless. There's basically there's all different kind of genres, but I'm more old school. I come from like Maiden and Sabbath and Priest, and and after that, like Queensryche, Pantera, Yngwie Malmsteen, stuff like that. Eric comes from a little bit of a newer field. He's a good bit younger than me, so I'm more old school, and I guess you'd say he's more new school. Now, what do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously the power of metal connects us, right? It's a brought it all together. But yeah, I mean, I dig the old stuff, and I dig a lot of the new stuff too. Hey, what's up, Bronze? Yo,
yo,
man. So I dig a lot of the.
There we go.
I'm into a lot of Tesseract and Opeth right now. I love all that stuff. So it all comes together, generation gap or no, the power of music is what binds us all.
Absolutely, right on. Now, for anybody just joining in, we're also welcome here with Ronzell, also a member of Out of Darkness. Now, Ronzell, just gonna go right to you. What was the whole experience of being approached to joined Out of Darkness, and what's it been ever since?
First I want to test this mic. Can everybody hear me?
Oh yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, the experience, man, it was something I feel special, man, because even going to the bar that night, the open mic that we met, that decision was last minute, so the fact that I was there, I feel was like, a special type of timing, so um meeting those guys was really special, you know. Eric and Rich for sure. I was kind of nervous, I will say that, but those guys started really letting everything on me, like all of our plans and stuff like that, and I was just a go with it. So
Now, what was each of you, but what was the biggest thing that got you into metal at a young age, or whenever metal took over your life?
my father's always been into a lot of different music, so my household was always kind of been open to all types. Um, I came to heavy metal fully, like I say maybe like now it'd be like 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. I had always been, on my bass playing music and studying and doing my thing on there, but as far as diving into history and just what makes heavy metal, it's been like 2 years. Um, and I can honestly say it was just the raw, and obviously there are some amazing musicians in metal. Just the energy, you know, that definitely has a lot to do with it as well. Being able to play at such an elite level and still be able to physically be out there, projecting. I feel that's special. I feel that that's unique, very special.
Right on. Now, I know Brent, you had kind of touched on some of the earlier godfathers of metal. What had gotten you into metal when you were younger?
Probably the first band would be Black Sabbath. They're the first one I heard. Do you hear all that noise, or is it just me?
I'm so sorry. There's this huge boat over there just making a bunch of noise.
And turn your mic down or something, maybe.
Yeah, I'll mute my mic until it's time to talk. My bad.
There we go. Black Sabbath was the first stuff I really heard. It was heavy metal. Jeez, man. Hey, Aaron, did you mute your mic? Hey, what's up? Okay.
Is that
still hearing some noise, man? But anyway, it was Sabbath was the first. What's that?
I was gonna say, Bronzo, do you have sound coming through your speakers too?
No, I think it's coming through my headphones right now.
Okay.
But other than that, the band that really got me going was Iron Maiden. I saw Maiden on the Peace of Mind tour, and I saw the subsequent 2 tours after that. There we go. Power Slave and Somewhere in Time. And I mean, when I saw the Peace of Mind tour, that was pretty much it. It's like I want to do my version of that kind of thing. So Maiden was definitely a big influence.
Now, what age were you when you had that experience?
I guess Maiden, I would have been about 13. About 13.
And then,
yeah.
And then when did you pick up your first drumsticks?
I actually started playing when I was about 7. I played for a couple years, from about 7 to 9, And then I kind of lost interest, being a kid. And I got pretty serious back into it. When I was about 13, I started taking drum lessons from a real drum teacher. And I started playing in school band and stuff like that. And started jamming and, pick up bands and whatnot. And that's when I started getting serious about it after seeing Iron Maiden.
Right on. Now, Eric, how about you? What was that first taste of metal that made you think, this is it for me?
Megadeth. I was sitting, what? It was earlier than Megadeth, but Megadeth was a turning point for me. In middle school, I remember hearing rock radio, and I got into some really simple stuff, that was on there. I guess System of a Down or whatever. That was a big one on me. But then after a while, I remember in high school, I was sitting with a buddy of mine, Kaushan. He's really big on Megadeth, and he sat me down and he said, "You have got to hear this." And I sat down and I heard Hangar 18 and Holy Wars, and I said, "Man, they shred! I want to shred like that." So that was kind of the start of it for me in terms of stepping up my game and getting into metal deeply. That really sparked something for me. I just flipped out and obsessed over it.
Absolutely. Now, we had touched on you guys performing at the 1904 Music Hall back in February. You guys will be back there in May. What other shows do you guys have planned for this year? I know, Brent, you had spoken about them a few. There is Metal in the Mountains as well. I know you guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know that one's
there's
at the very end of August.
Right on.
Are there really any other festivals that you guys have planned for this year at all?
We're doing Haltom Festival over in Texas, the metal festival at the Haltom Theater in Texas, in Haltom, Texas. Sorry, that's the name of the place, Haltom, Texas. And we're in North Carolina, Metal in the Mountains, of course. And then we're doing some extra dates that our manager's stringing together right now.
Yeah, I know we're playing May 7th in Orlando. We're opening up for A Killer's Confession. I think it's their tour kickoff party. And then, do you know what the other dates are?
Yeah, we're doing May 7th in Tampa, then I believe May 8th in Jacksonville, and I believe the 24th in Orlando, all in May.
I think there's a Tallahassee date in there somewhere too.
Yeah, there is a Tallahassee date. That's right. I'm not sure which one it is. I think he's still confirming that one.
But it definitely sounds like Florida's going to be getting you guys a lot here, and then you guys will be heading out and hitting up the Southeast some more. I myself, I'm going to be at Metal in the Mountains, so definitely looking forward to seeing you guys there.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, are there any bands that have really stuck out to you guys over the last year and a half that you haven't toured with that you want to tour with?
Ginger.
That's a good one.
I can't really think of anybody offhand.
Yeah, same here. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head right now.
I mean, of course, there's bands we'd love to tour with.
Tesseract, for sure.
What's that?
I'd say Ginger and Tesseract would be great ones. I don't know. I would love to tour with quite a list of bands, to be honest. If I could just write them all down, pass it over, get it done. We're metal musicians.
Write them down, hand them to
too, right?
That's right. Just make sure you get them all over to Rich. He'll make sure it happens.
I mean, of course, we'd love to tour with, Maiden, Priest, Metallica, Megadeth. All those bands would be great. Disturbed.
Now, with some of these metal bands,
that'd be great.
Hey, you never know what's gonna happen. It could happen.
Right on.
You never know.
But with these, these metal acts that have been doing it for 30, 40 years plus, what do you get from them that, gives you that energy, gives you that push to know that, it might not happen right away, but that hard work and perseverance, can lead to a long career of doing what you love.
I think it's just sticking with it, and if you look at the bands, like to me, the three biggest metal bands are, Sabbath, Priest, and Maiden. If you look at them, I don't think any of them really exploded in the beginning. It took a few records, Maiden is the one I'm most familiar with. They created a pretty good buzz on the first record. It became even bigger on the second record. And then by the time Number of the Beast came out, I think Run to the Hills, I think, was a top 40 hit. They were starting to get a lot of play on MTV and whatnot. And due to their relentless touring, they began to break. Judas Priest, I think it took quite a few more records for them. I first got into Priest really Screaming for Vengeance record, but I know British Steel was kind of their breakthrough, with the radio hits, Breaking the Law and Living After Midnight, that kind of stuff. But, I think there was a good amount, I'm not sure how many, but I know there was a good many records before that. As far as Sabbath, their most popular stuff like, Iron Man and War Pigs and, Fairies Wear Boots and Paranoid and all that, that was off the Paranoid record. I think that might have been their third record, maybe. I'm not sure. I should know that better. But so, you look at those bands, it took them a few records before they really got, really started amassing their following and, creating their place in the metal world, so to speak. So, you look at that, like we're very proud of our EP. I think it's pretty diverse for, 7 tracks. It's, it's got a lot of different dynamics in it and whatnot. It showcases us as much as 7 tracks can, but we're looking to follow it up with a full length killer record and just kind of build upon that. So, I know that's kind of a long answer, but I think part of it is just sticking with it. You can't expect, occasionally there's going to be a band like, I was pretty big into Quiet Riot when they first came out. They were the first band to debut at #1, first metal band to debut at #1. And, unfortunately for them, they never repeated that same success. I think they sold about 5 million of the first record, about 1 million of the second record, 500,000 of the third record. It steadily kind of went down from there. But most bands build to that kind of success instead of start off like that. So, that's what I look at. And you just look at the, the work that they put in. Like Maiden, they've done mammoth tours, 13-month tours, a year and a half long tours. They're broken up into legs. It's not like they're out on the road the whole time, but they're out on the road most of the time. They go home long enough to do their laundry and, see their family, and then they're back out at it. I think it's the relentless touring. Metal bands are built on touring. So absolutely. I would say those are the things that we look at. As far as any other kind of thing that you can do to, get your name out there, get your, your band talked about more and, in the spotlight. Creating videos, I guess, is one thing for sure. Doing any kind of promotions, doing any kind of like, video diaries and stuff like that, getting your YouTube channel going. It's so much more competitive nowadays than it was when I first started. When I was first coming up, there was maybe 100 bands that were like in the, in the spotlight people talking about. Now there's like thousands of bands. It's so much harder for a band to stick out in this day and age. So I think it's the ones that stick to it. The cream always rises to the top. It's just a matter of getting your, you can have a great record, but if nobody knows about it, You got to get it out there and get it known.
Absolutely. Either of you have anything to add to that one?
What he said pretty much sums it all up. You just look at the hard work that those guys really put into it. One misconception about today is, you can get famous overnight just because, you have the internet, and it's just like, the internet does allow you, to put a lot of things out, and allows you to have a voice, but at the same time, it still takes work. It still takes leg work. It still takes, what I'm saying, the work that those guys did. Those pioneer bands. The leg work that those guys put in. They didn't have the internet back then. So it was a different type of hustle. Opposed to now. I hate to say it, but some of the younger generation, us young heads, we get kind of lazy because we can just upload something on the internet and then boom, and then we can have 1,000 views or 1,000 likes in a second, and so it kind of just changes, what I'm saying, the mental. But having that old school mentality, I like to call it, where you're getting up, you're acting like you don't have these electronics around you, and you're practicing, what I'm saying, every single day, what I'm saying, and like I said, doing the old school leg work, and that I feel like that's the type of work that separates bands from others.
Right on.
Oh, absolutely. And like you're saying, both of you and Brian kind of touched on it, is in today's world it's so easy to come across 1,000, 10,000 different bands that are all sharing the same spotlight. But there's always something that allows different bands, different artists to kind of shine separately. And one thing that we've been talking about this whole time is just that diversity in your guys' sound is one of the biggest things I think that really sets you guys apart. And where do you guys? You're welcome. Where do you guys feel that is fueled from? Where does that come from? That ability to, because some bands will get that narrow-mindedness where they're like, all right, we can't do this. That's not who we are. That's not our range. What allows you guys to just be very open and be very diverse in your sound?
I think. Go ahead. A lot of it comes from Eric.
I think a lot of it was listening to a diverse set of music. Not just being into metal is great, but metal is not the only form of music, and I think it's important to digest different styles, different sounds, and really soak it in and feel it, hear it, breathe it, live. Something about diversifying what you listen to, I think, is fundamental to that. You need to be listening to different kinds. And that's when you create your own sound. When you take all your different influences and you melt them together, that's how you get something unique. And I think we found something out of darkness with that, if that makes any sense.
I think it's the different singing as well. There's a lot of clean singing and say metal type singing, and then there's a good bit of rough singing as well. So the music's pretty dynamic. There's some soft parts, there's plenty of heavy parts. There's a bit of piano in there as well, and some keyboard and stuff like that. As well as some like some atmospheric sound effects and whatnot. I think that a lot of the lyrical content, it's very modern. You know what I mean? It's very easy for people to identify with. It's not like fantasy kind of lyrics and whatnot. It's very real kind of stuff that people can identify with. So I think that's a good part of the appeal.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that especially in today's generation, allowing your emotions to come out more, a little bit more is more acceptable. Especially we'll say like amongst males, and but being able to have that approach of like Eric was saying, not just being, metal music is all about, this and that. It's being able to, take your experiences, all of your experiences. I always feel that, as a person, all the different experiences you've had in your life have brought you to who you are today.
Right.
That's who you are, is all of your experiences in your life.
Absolutely.
So whether they're good, they're bad, it's who you are. So, you bring that to the table anywhere you go.
That's what really makes it. Yeah, that's where the uniqueness comes from. Otherwise, everything will be carbon copy. You don't want to sound like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's their experiences. And plus, you're never gonna be as good at somebody else at expressing their feelings, their emotions, what's going on in their head. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be better than doing that than what I'm saying, that person. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like finding the uniqueness, channeling everything, the hurt, the happiness, just the ups and the downs, and bringing that into, your craft, the things that you love to do, so.
Now for 2021, we talked about all the different things that you guys have planned ahead. Is there any one thing, whether it's personally or, for the band, that you're looking forward to 2021, especially with, you might not have been able to do it last year, or just for any reason?
I mean, just playing everywhere that we can. We were kind of limited as to where we could play for a while. That's why we've only done Florida so far. But I would say branching out, playing coast to coast and eventually overseas and stuff like that. That's probably the biggest thing that I've got. I mean, I don't know what else you guys got.
I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, I'm dying to just hop on that bus and hit the road.
Yeah. Fact. We have a lot of energy that we definitely want to project out, everybody individually, so it's coming together, it's definitely going to be like an explosion. It's definitely going to be an explosion.
We need to release that energy onto the people, that listen to this music, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. As somebody that loves to get in the pit themselves, like, it's just all this energy, all this, we'll say the hatred, the happiness, the depression, just, you're able to just release it at these shows. And just being, we've gone to, I think, one show since November of 19. We've had the chance to go to one show, and it's just, you have all of this that you're able to normally vent out and release, but you no longer have that, that automobile, so to speak, or that can't think of the word.
Vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle to be able. Exactly.
Heavy metal.
And I'm sure for you guys, it's the same thing.
Most definitely, man. I'll be in my room, man. Like, I'm in my room on 15, bro. Head banging, like, jumping across the walls, upside down, and all that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like how you said, what heavy metal is. It's like a therapy. You know what I'm saying? So having the ability to get back on stage, it's kind of just like. You almost don't. You want to go to sleep because you want, you want to hurry up and get on stage, but at the same time, it's just like you can't sleep because you're so excited, you're so hyped, got so much energy,
Something about the form of heavy metal, when you get that hard music, all up in your ears, it just does something to your brain that just releases the anger, the hate, the sadness. It kind of diffuses it in a way, something about heavy music. And I think that's what draws a lot of listeners to it. And that's certainly one of the factors that draws me to heavy metal. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that.
100%.
Right on.
Now, with performing at shows and festivals, do you guys have any pre-show routines or superstitions that you guys always make sure to do?
Personally, I like to stretch. I like to get my legs warm. So I'll be doing lunges.
I've seen him hopping and stretching.
Yeah, you
Literally hopping and
like you
stretching.
literally jumping in the air. Like I'm talking like, just
He's
as if
got air, man. This guy can jump. Oh my god, really?
like I'm about to go play ball or something, man. But it's literally so, what I'm saying, there's just no excuse on stage, want to pull nothing, you want to
He
be at
also
your peak.
plays ball. Did anyone mention this? He plays ball really good. This guy.
But yeah, so that routine that's one that comes up for sure. Just stretching, getting my legs warm, whole body warm.
Yeah, I like to warm up. I got a little practice pad kit, double bass pedal. I put on some ankle weights, get back there and get the blood flowing, get the muscles moving. And we all just kind of hang out and try and get psyched up, That's pretty much it.
Me personally, I don't really do much. I just sit around and wait, I guess. I'm usually in the back in some, poorly air conditioned room sweating, saying, "Man, how hard we gotta go." I could say this. Brent didn't mention this, but he has this thing he does before his shows. I don't know if he does it on purpose or not, but it's definitely a ritual for this guy. He disappears. He just like, whoo, he's gone. He's gone until like it's time to warm up, and then he'll just suddenly reappear out of nowhere in a completely different set of clothes. Like, yeah, I'm ready to rock. And he just gets back there and starts warming up, and then we do our show.
Yeah, well, I like to be a little bit reclusive, I guess you might say. I just sort of conserve my energy, and I don't want to be all out and about and everything. You kind of save it and you want to make it special. You get in the right frame of mind and, get ready to do the deal.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Now, is there anybody in the band that, when you guys go on this tour, that you're always going to have like eyes in the back of your head on, that's going to be always, pulling pranks on somebody, someone that's always the funny guy?
Hey, in this band, man, it could be anybody on any given day, man. Like you never know. Like, like you never know, man. It can come up from any direction, man, and that's the funness about it, though. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Everybody is like always joking around, and everybody's always messing around. It's
Full of surprises.
fact.
Yep. You got to keep your eyes on everybody, I guess.
You can walk around the corner and get like a pot to the face, man.
Rather unpredictable bandmates, I gotta say.
Has there been any jaw-dropping moments from anybody that somebody just surprised you or just did something that just pops your head?
I can't think of anything. You guys?
I've seen everybody individually like take off on stage. I've seen them like go unconscious, man. So it's like looking back to all our shows, what I'm saying, and just looking at, whether it be a certain song, or a certain part of the set, just seeing, like your brother, what I'm saying, just really doing his thing, what I'm saying, just really taking off, being within the moment, and just like just riding with it, what I'm saying? Like I can just think of moments like that, just kind of looking over, or seeing Brent levitate 10 feet in the air when he's doing his drum solos and stuff like that, So yeah, just moments like that,
Excellent.
I've actually been surprised by oh, I'm sorry. I have been surprised by Bronzel and Cody and Sean and Brent too. Actually, the whole band, everybody has surprised me with their vocals. They all pretend like they can't sing. I swear, all of them pretend like they can't sing. Every last one of them. I remember one day we were jamming, and I got on Brent's kit, and he got on the microphone, and he just started wailing, and I was like, dude, those are really high notes, man. And Bronzel, he's got a really soulful voice. You know, I think we're going to hear a lot more of everyone's voices with the next record, by the way. And Cody, he's got a really precise and high timbre to his voice. And Sean, he's got a very rock and roll vocal, you know. So it was all surprising hearing all of them sing at different points in our journey so far. They've all surprised me in that aspect.
So we might see like a Queen cover or something like that. See everybody just kind of
never know.
We've been
told to sound a lot like a metal Queen.
Hey.
It was appropriate. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Right.
An idea. So, we touched on it earlier, but you guys just put out a new album here, like about 2 weeks ago now. Seize the Day. You can find it over on outofdarkness.live, and also you guys have it up on your Spotify. Bronzel, what's your favorite song off the album?
Seize the Day, for sure. I like the energy. I like the heaviness. I like the dynamics. For sure. Seize the Day.
How about you, Brent?
Probably Freedom to Be Free. It's a ballad. I wrote a lot of the music for it, and Eric wrote some really killer lyrics that fit it like a glove. It's dedicated to my girlfriend. It's kind of a very personal song.
Right on. I know I've listened to that one a few different times, and that's honestly probably one of my favorite songs off the album. I like the whole tone of it is enjoyable for me.
Awesome.
Eric, how about you? What's your favorite song?
Yeah, I've got two favorites. One favorite is I Surrender because I love singing it. It's fun to sing. It's a challenge every time, and I feel really accomplished by the end of the track. In terms of, did I do it? Okay, I guess I survived. I did it. and also my original favorite is Seize the Day because it's such a fast, sudden, powerful track, and it's got a lot of really modern stuff to it. But it also does a few things, brings in some influences from the past too, and it's another one similar to what we were talking about, Control, how it all rolls it all together. Seize the Day kind of does something similar too, in my opinion, and those are my two favorites: I Surrender and Seize the Day.
Excellent. Now, tours coming up. You guys got a lot of shows coming up. Album just put out. Working on new music here soon for the full length. Is there anything else that anybody should know about Out of Darkness that we just have not talked about?
The message is very positive. We come from a place of light and love, to where a lot of metal bands come from a place of maybe darkness and hate. We're a little different in that aspect. It's very positive, very uplifting. It's about love, bringing people together. I would say that's one thing. It's very diverse as well. If you listen to one tune, you might not get the whole scope of the dynamics of the band. There's like Control and Seize the Day. There's those kind of really heavy songs. There's Freedom to Be Free, which is the ballad. I Surrender, is definitely different. And then you have a song like Think Again, which is completely different again. So there's a lot of different, sounds that come from the one band. So I would say that. And, I think we're really amazing live. We're still kind of getting our groove on. We've only played about a half a dozen shows so far. But you definitely want to see it live. Other than that, I don't know anything to add, fellas.
Well, Out of Darkness is coming for you.
Yeah, we're super excited. Super excited.
All right, awesome. So again, we had the opportunity here to sit with Out of Darkness. They just put out Seize the Day earlier this month. Make sure to go ahead and grab that over at outofdarkness.live, and also stream it over on Spotify on their channel. And make sure you guys be on the lookout for all their shows in the Florida area here in May. I know they've got a couple different festivals we talked about, like Carolina Rising. You've got Metal in the Mountains and many more shows. So make sure you guys are following them on Facebook, Twitter, and all of the socials. So again, thank you for joining us here with Out of Darkness, and Squatch out.
Thanks for having us. Metal lives.